Oh, good evening and welcome to About the Valley. And my guests tonight are from the Economic Development Committee.
Yes,
Okay, and with us is Chairman Kendell Chilton.
thank you.
And are you Vice Chair?
I am.
Oh, and Muriel Emond, who is Vice Chair. And are you longtime residents or,
I've been here since 2013.
well, it's been a while.
I've been in Uxbridge for a while, and I relocated here a few years ago.
Oh, yeah, because there was an Emond family within Rockdale.
Oh, no, not
No
for me.
relation.
No.
No. But, yeah, I'm finding we get a lot of people that are moving to town and getting on the boards. And this is good. This is really good because you bring in a new look, a new way of looking at things. And that's what you need to do. And we talk about that off the air, how your committee you have right now was vacant for a while.
Right.
Yes.
And now we're doing a renaissance.
Yes, we're trying to get the committee to be functional again and to provide the benefits for the town that it needs to have. There's
Yeah.
economic development committees in many other towns in Massachusetts, and Northbridge has to be able to compete for businesses and the grant monies that are available to businesses.
That's a big factor right there. There is grant money out there, but if you have nobody to go for it,
Right, and so we want to be able to know what that money is and to make sure that our businesses in town are aware of what's available, as well as to be able to use that to attract new businesses
Yeah.
to the town.
Definitely.
and you work with the chamber on it?
Yes, we're starting to work with the chamber. They actually came to our meeting last week,
Ah,
and we're hoping to develop a lot more with them.
they do a great job down there.
Yes, absolutely.
I do a radio show once a week with Jeannie.
Yes,
Oh, wonderful.
good.
Yeah, we record it. And then I go out and I talk to businesses in the valley. And that's how we feature on the show.
Very
In fact, we ought to have you on sometime.
Oh, yes,
What
be
you-
glad to.
What you're doing.
Yeah, so, yeah, we hope to work a lot with Jeannie in the future. We're already planning to attend the business
Business
Expo.
Expo.
expo,
Business
they call it.
expo.
Yes, the business expo in
March
March.
15th.
Yes, and so we're planning to be at that expo. And so as Jeannie continues to, offer her services, we hope to support her and have her support our work as well.
Yeah,
Right, because
collaborative.
you've got to get the word out that Northbridge is here. And this is what we got to offer.
We've got a lot to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the chamber, this is kind of the key area for the chamber's area. So this is the central hub of the Blackstone Valley. And so this is the area that really is going to make the whole valley sing. And
Well,
so that's what we're
Treasury
looking for.
one time was the shopping center of the valley. We go back to the 50s.
Mhm.
Because you didn't have the malls. You didn't have the big box stores.
Right.
I mean, that has changed the environment everywhere, but there's still a chance for these stores to come back.
Right.
Not in the same manner. We talked about that earlier off the air, about we'd like to see something come in like antique shops,
Right.
small boutiques.
Right, and so what we were talking about is to have Northbridge be the destination. So you're coming
Yeah.
to Northbridge because of the variety of shops, or because we
Right.
have unique businesses here that you don't find elsewhere in the state. So this would become your destination, and then we would have an ecosystem of other businesses that would benefit from that. So you would have
Yeah.
restaurants that would benefit from, say, an
Oh,
antique
yeah.
shop, that then you come for the antique shop, but you stay for lunch.
Exactly.
So if we have a whole ecosystem of businesses that support each other, then we all profit from that. And it also creates an environment where people who live in the town have a place where they can work without traveling all the way into Boston or Worcester or
Right.
somewhere else.
Well, that's the way it used to be when the shop had 5,000 employees.
Exactly.
They shopped locally.
Right. And as you look at the business environment, the malls seem to be falling out of favor. So that's,
Yes.
again, a sign of the times. And so
Well-
there's an opportunity for us to figure out how the economy is changing, how consumers are operating, and change with that model, and also maybe influence the model by our plans.
Look what they've done with malls. They've gone from indoor malls to building villages. So why can't we have a village instead?
Right, yes.
Instead of one owner owning all the land, everybody has their own individual shop.
Right, and so, we're competing against the Amazons in a lot of cases. And so,
Right.
when you can order something online and have it shipped to your door, what does our town have to offer that you don't find on Amazon? And so I think that's an area where
Well,
our
that's
local
where I
businesses
think the
can.
service industries come in.
Yes,
And that can draw good, like chiropractic services and massage, or, I know the skincare, there's a number of them on Church Street right now.
There are, yeah.
right. Or things like, there's a new bakery that's moved into the
Yes.
plaza near Shaw's. That is not something you can order on Amazon, a nice, fresh cake or loaf of bread. So that's an asset
I've
to
heard a
the
lot of
town.
good talk about it, a lot of people are excited about it, because you got bakeries in the big stores, but it's not the same.
Exactly. So years ago, you mentioned, back in the 50s, bakeries were a big thing,
Well,
and
we
they
had
kind of went
one
away.
up until, probably '90s, I believe, with
Mhm.
Rogers Bakery, very popular. The only reason it closed was he got tired of getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning and going down and baking the bread.
Yes, it does require a commitment.
Right, you gotta have someone who's committed to doing the work.
Right. And I think that's the case with a lot of our small business owners in the area, that they are committed to their businesses.
Yes.
And so in the Economic Development Committee, we want to try to figure out what's holding them back, what can happen in our town to
Well,
help
one
them
of
to
the big
succeed.
factors is
And how we
probably
can help
parking.
them.
Parking, right?
Mhm.
Because that's always been a problem. And we got a lot of complaints about the streetscape program because it eliminated parking on one side. But it makes a nicer street.
Mhm.
It really does.
So, I mean, you like to look homey too as well.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's a kind of a double-edged sword for you.
Yes,
You nicer, but you got no parking. But we did have parking in the back.
right.
No.
And Unibank has that lot that they offer there.
Unibank has been very good to the town.
Right. Yeah, Unibank, I think is, we have several, excellent businesses in town. I think we should all be very thankful that we have
Yeah.
businesses like Unibank and Koopman's celebrating their 50th.
85th.
85th
85th.
anniversary.
Yeah.
So, we have longstanding, very community-sensitive businesses in town. And I think, we can all be very thankful.
Yes.
Because, that they are really an asset to the community.
We got some good parking in back.
Yes, we do. Right in back of, yeah.
I think what needs is to be paved.
I think the access in and out of
and
it.
access
Yeah,
gotta be
it's a little
improved. I don't know how
choppy.
you can improve that, because you're gonna go between the buildings. but-
Right, and that makes it, the sight lines very difficult when you're pulling
Right.
out. So we have to figure out some ways to improve that, I think, if we're gonna make good use of that parking.
You know what you might look at now? We're gonna be tearing down the former primary school. And that land attaches to it.
Mhm.
Not to make a parking lot, but you could use it for an access.
Mhm.
If whoever goes in there, we tell them that we need access to the parking.
Right, right. There is an access road from that side to that parking in behind. But again, it goes fairly narrow through
Yeah.
that alley.
Yeah, it needs to be improved.
It needs to be much, and there's, several potholes on it and stuff, so
Right, yeah, like I said, it needs to be paved.
definitely needs to be improved, yes.
And you probably get that speed bump out of there.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I think right now you kind of need that speed bump or you're going to run into a building.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's,
I know the guys who put it in there,
mhm,
and they put it in because they were flying through there.
yeah, so there's a balance that needs to be worked out there.
Yeah.
But you're right, parking is an issue in the town. I think access to the town, some of our, roads in and out of town get quite congested, especially during commute times. That, causes a lot of
Right.
issues as well. So we have a few issues like that we're gonna have to, look at, and I'm sure that lots of people in town will be involved in that process.
I mean, it's a tough thing for small stores to start up now. It's a hard thing because they, like you say, they're competing against Amazon and all the online stuff.
Mhm.
But there's still, I think people are getting away from it a little bit too. Because you buy online, you're buying from a picture.
Mhm.
And when you get it, that's why, go down to the Postal USA store.
Mhm.
They get tons of returns to Amazon. Because people get the item and they don't like it.
Right. And we do, have a great benefit of being able to shop locally.
Yes.
You do need to, you can go in and take a look at the items and make sure that they are the quality.
But
And,
I like to go and touch it and feel it and know what it, okay, here's, how do I handle this? And
yeah, but also, if you do shop locally, you're buying from your neighbors. You're actually
Right.
helping, you're
Oh,
helping
yeah.
your neighbors and supporting your local businesses, but you're also helping the town, because,
they're paying taxes in the town. They support the little
Exactly.
leagues. They support the sports teams.
exactly.
Yeah,
So to be able to
absolutely.
shop locally, and, I noticed, several years ago that a lot of things that, you look on Amazon and say, oh, this is very cheap, but you go to Walmart, it's the same price.
Right, exactly.
And there you can go and look at it and,
Yeah.
and try it on. We have some new shops in town, Little Man.
Little Man's
You
in
can
town.
talk about that.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
Christine at
I-
Little Man is wonderful, and she's been working very hard to build her business there, and
She's doing well there.
she's doing pretty well, yeah?
But
Yeah.
she's unique, she has, she sells to the White House gift shop.
Oh, I wasn't aware.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what, she sells them items that if you go to the White House gift shop, her items are there.
Right, exactly. And as we talked about, like antiques and, other businesses, you're not going to
Right.
find these things on Amazon.
No.
And so you have their services, you have unique items that you find in our town, that it pays to shop locally and take a look at what's
I
available.
can tell you, Paul Hackney opened up the record store.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to him this morning at the chamber breakfast. He's doing very well. He says he's very
Is
happy
he?
with the
Good
way
for
things are going.
Good for him.
Excellent.
So, I mean, it shows it can happen.
I need to stop in there. I've been meaning to. Every time I look for the orange car, I'm like, he's there, I've got to
Yes.
stop now.
Yeah, it's well worth it, I'll tell you. He's great buys,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got a great collection.
Mhm.
But he'll also buy your records. If you're
Oh.
gonna, yeah.
Well, I've got a few. I really have to stop in now.
Yes.
Yeah, if there's something he can use,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the artist, but he's always looking for, but he'll buy them and then he resells them. He's not gonna give you a lot for them because he's gonna resell them.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and I'm talking, he's got CDs, and he's got, eight track cassette, we got the old 8-track.
He's got the old 8-track.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing.
and he's got the cassettes.
Yeah. And so there again is a pretty unique business
Yeah.
that we have here in Northbridge that you don't
Yeah.
find in other towns. So that's always great if we can attract more businesses like that, or have the residents be able to start their own businesses in the town.
Oh, yeah.
This would always be wonderful, and if we have the ecosystem that can
We got
support those
unique-
businesses.
You're familiar with the twins?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's unique.
Yeah,
Yes.
and they get quite a good business.
They do
I
very
see
well, I
lots of cars in the
understand.
morning there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where
Yes.
they sell nutritional drinks.
Mm-hmm.
There again, it started in a little building there, and in fact, I think it was the optometrist was in there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right. So the Economic Development Committee, we are not only looking to bring new businesses into town, but also to be able to support these local
Right.
businesses and try to help them to remove whatever roadblocks are in their way that keep their businesses from growing, and to be able to attract people from out of town to come to Northbridge, to shop, to
what are your
consume.
plans for getting the word out about Northbridge?
Well, certainly Jeannie at the Chamber of Commerce is going to be a great asset for us, because
Yes.
she has a lot of experience and a great staff to give us information about that. There's a lot of events that happen in the area in terms of soliciting businesses to come to Northbridge. And I think the local businesses working together will mean a lot. There's a lot of shop owners in town that have a lot of experience that can help the ones that have less experience, and by working together, we have the Main Street organization, the Church Street organization
yes.
that works together. And
Which-
so I think with the Economic Development Committee helping them, we might be able to bring in some talent in marketing to talk to the people in town and to educate us all about how to better market Northbridge for consumers to come to the town and shop.
They
Well,
may
for
know
years,
of
people
others.
didn't know, where's Northbridge?
Yes, yes,
And also, there
actually,
was a lot of confusion. Waynesville would be better known because of the White Machine Works.
Right.
I used to tell people, very simple, Waynesville's the capital of Northbridge.
It's a nice way to look at it, yeah.
in some ways. But yeah, I actually
Well,
had a
it-
conversation
it's
this
kinda
morning.
strange, you send a letter to Northbridge Town Hall, it's in Waynesville, Mass.
Right, exactly. And you know, the police stations in Whitensville.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had that
Northbridge Police in
conversation.
Waynesville. It's confusing to some people, but that's what happened in these small New England towns. They have villages that sprung up within the town.
Right, right. And I had a conversation this morning because I was giving someone my address and told them Whitensville, and they said, "Oh, I can't find it. Look for Northbridge." So, you know, when you have these, you know, villages, you know, in Linwood or Rockdale,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you know, you tell people that's where you live, you
I
don't
had a
find it
guest
on the map.
I had a guest on this show last week from Worcester, and he's trying to get a hold of me at the last minute. Can't find the studio. I told him quite specifically Church Avenue,
Oh,
but he went to Church Street.
Yes.
And I've had that happen in the past. And I know you hate to change the name completely, but sometimes we have to do that.
Yes. But that, you know, there are towns that, you know, 6th Avenue and 6th Street,
Yeah.
you would, you know.
Well, one time, this was Church Street.
really?
Yeah, under 9/11, when we brought the 9/11 system in, we had to change the names of a lot of the streets because it would be impossible for the 9/11 to work.
Right.
And so the compromise was the shorter street would get the name change. Not the name of the street, but what the end of it is. So Church Street became Church Ave, and School Street in Linwood, the School Street here, School Street in Linwood became School Place,
Okay.
things like that. But to make it simpler. But it's not that difficult to change. When I was a kid, Providence Road in Rockdale was Main Street.
Right.
And
I
they-
still hear people refer to it as Main Street.
Yeah, because it was Main Street. But then he changed it converted over from the Uxbridge line all the way to Grafton. Grafton even changed it to Providence Road. So it's Providence Road in Grafton all the way till you get to Worcester Street in Grafton.
Yes. And even like where I live, you know, that used to be Purgatory Road still.
Yes.
And then it was changed at one point when they re-engineered the turn. And
Yep.
so that North Main Street became much longer.
Yes.
So that's another change to happen. Everybody had to have new numbers, new address.
Right.
It's very,
It's a pain in the neck, but you get it done and you live with it.
yeah. So I don't know if there's any of those sorts of things that, you know, are necessary to help the businesses in town. You know,
Right.
we have Church Street Extension where, you know, Osterman is. You know, that's kind of an odd, you know.
Yeah. But I think it still goes under Church Street all the way through, even though
The
it's,
numbers seem to be consistent. I'm not
Yeah.
totally sure about that, but but it's still called Church Street
yeah,
Extension.
I know.
Extension.
But
Yeah.
it's a straight road.
Right.
So it
It's like-
bears a
it becomes
historical
Church Street
name.
Extension at the lights,
Right.
Right,
the traffic lights.
right at Plummer's Corner.
Which here again can confuse everybody.
Right,
And there's no reason why it can't be Church Street.
right, right. And so you know, I don't know if anybody on that street, you know, minds that. But, you know, for businesses to have
I don't know if they-
complicated street names could be
I wonder
difficult.
if I know someone who lives there, and I think he uses Church Street as his address. I don't think they put extension on it.
Okay, could be.
That might be something just within the town.
Yeah, because I actually was looking for a house on Church Street Extension. Somebody gave me their address, and I put it into the GPS, and I couldn't find
No, you gotta put it in as Church Street.
yes,
Yeah, the numbers are
They-
in consecutive
line.
order. Yes. Yeah, so that was a bit of confusion for the GPS. So when we have visitors come into town and they're going to a particular business, that could be confusing if the GPS can't find those businesses. Everybody seems to use GPS just to go home now. So it's a
As far as a place to live, we're very popular.
yeah.
And one reason,
It's a
that's
beautiful
another selling point for Northbridge. We have the lowest taxes in the Blackstone Valley.
Yes.
Lowest tax rate in the Blackstone Valley. The town is very well run.
Yes, it's a wonderful town, and you know, you would like more people to know about it, but
Yeah.
not necessarily to move here, because one of the bad things about being a residential town is that your costs are higher. We
Right.
pay too much for
Right.
schools,
You need a balance between
Exactly.
commercial, industrial, and residential.
Exactly. And that's what we're looking to do, to make sure that we have that balance, that we have the right kind of commercial that doesn't change the character of the town, doesn't impose upon the residents of the town.
Right.
That we have zoning that makes sense for the town. And so the Economic Development Committee is advisory, and we will, advise the Board of Selectmen, the planning, and we're also involved now in the master plan development, the economic development part of it.
Yes, that's a big factor. I mean, I went through the master plan the last time. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
But, we've always faced, and I being on the planning board, we came across it all the time. We have industrial land and then somebody wants to come in and develop it.
Mm-hmm.
The golf course, it's a good example, Shiny Rock, that
Mhm.
was industrial land, but we did an overlay. Where Walmart is, originally it was industrial.
Mm.
In some cases, it didn't, I don't think that made sense to be industrial. It did in a way, it'd be good warehouse area,
Mm-hmm.
but there's plenty of that in Uxbridge and Douglas now. Walmart was a great asset to go there.
Right. Yeah, that continues to be a great asset for the town.
Yes.
Yeah, but as we were talking about earlier, as Gary on the planning board says, we need to have people turn left when they come out
Yeah.
of Walmart. So
Yeah.
we need to have a reason for people to come to the downtown area, to come all the way over to Plummer's Corner, to be able to go up to Rockdale. So all of these areas need to be developed and to be able to have,
What we
the
need is
support
some
of
kind of a
businesses.
sign that says, check it out. You know?
Like the one with the pot of gold you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was industrial sign.
Yeah, or a sign
Okay.
that says, didn't find what you were looking for at Walmart, turn this way.
Right.
That's a creative way to think about it, yeah?
Or check out our downtown. I don't know if you know Walmart in Worcester. Well, Quincy Village is similar to a small village. It's part of Worcester, but it's a lot of small stores and restaurants. They put up signs advertising that they're there
Mm-hmm.
to go check us out.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we've got to get a little bit creative and maybe collaborate with other businesses and then see how we can all come up with a plan to pull people forward.
Yes.
Or even get the state to put a sign up on the, at the entrance. Put an arrow, waiting zone.
Mm-hmm.
And people, I wonder what that is.
Or even sometimes you see on the highway, they have different signs saying what businesses are here.
That's a big,
Right.
yes,
Yes.
You
yes.
know, or what restaurant is here, or
Yes.
whatever, something unique.
Right.
Is
Well,
on that
they do
sign.
restaurants and gas stations.
Right, but we could be a little bit creative with that. We don't have to
Right.
do restaurants and gas stations. We can do other.
We
Well,
might even be able to have, because they also have attraction signs. And we could have
Yes.
the national park.
Exactly.
That we really need. We should have a sign out
That
on
should be a
146.
no-brainer. That should definitely be
Yeah.
in there.
Yes, and so those are all, great ideas. And, we need those sorts of great ideas on the Economic Development Committee. So we need community involvement. We currently have, if you look at our website, and I encourage, of course, everybody to go look at the website, because there's a lot of information, and we'll be continuing to put more and
Yeah.
more on that website as we build the committee. We need, community involvement. We need the businesses in the community to be involved so that we can work together. We need the residents to be involved so that their voices can be heard in the process as well. And everybody has some great ideas to contribute. So ideas like this are all things that we need to be able to have from the community so that together, again, we have to compete with other towns for these businesses. Our businesses in town are competing against other businesses in the state as well as, mail order. So for us to work together to be able to compete is a necessary thing.
And a benefit for all of us.
Yes,
Whether
absolutely.
we're residents, whether we're businesses, whether we're thinking about being businesses, it's a benefit.
Right, exactly, because we get the tax benefits. It also provides local areas for us to work. It improves our town. These businesses, I think earlier we were talking about how much good these businesses like Walmart and Unibank do for our town.
yeah.
These businesses benefit our town and provide us a lot of things that we
Give you a
wouldn't
great
have
tax
otherwise.
base.
In addition
As
to
well
the
as
tax
that,
base,
yeah.
but just, their contributions to the town.
Oh, yeah, they do. They make, people don't realize how much they give back to the town in contributions.
Right, exactly. And so all of those benefits are great for the town. So we need to be able to work together with our businesses and support them. And so any, residents in town who are looking for getting involved, this past Monday, the Board of Selectmen did approve a person to fill one of our vacancies, but we still have a vacancy on the committee. So anyone who
Yeah, we're
wants
looking
to
for people.
help and, has time to contribute to helping to build Northbridge and to improve our economic situation, we do have a vacancy on the committee. And even if you don't want to be on the committee, we can still use a lot of help. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, a lot of research, and as I said, we always need ideas.
Now, how do you get on the committee? Be up to appointed by the selectmen?
Right,
Yes.
you fill out a talent bank form, you put on it that you want to be a member of the committee. That will come to us, we'll have you into one of our meetings, let you know what's going on, you can introduce yourself. Then the next step would be to go to the Board of Selectmen and get appointed to the board. Then you, if you haven't already been sworn in as a person on a committee in the town, you'll be sworn in by the town clerk.
Right, well, if any committee you join, you have to get sworn in for that individual committee.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But now, are all the appointments from the selectmen?
For this committee, yes.
Okay, some committees require representatives from other committees.
No, this one is appointed directly
100%
by,
by select. How many
the
members are there?
there's five
Five of us.
members. And then we also have a representative from the planning board. We have a representative.
Oh, okay, that's what I mean, yeah. So there are positions from the
there are,
planning
yeah.
board.
Oh, yes.
What, the zoning board of appeals or?
No, the planning board, the Board of Selectmen has a representative.
Oh, okay.
So Michael Wilkes is our representative from the Board of Selectmen. Jim Berkowitz is from the
Planning board.
planning board. And then Gary is, from the planning board is our ex officio member.
Right.
And so we'll have 8 total people on the board if we become
Gary
fully
does
staffed.
that on a number of boards.
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, Gary's very busy and another great asset for the town. He does a lot
Oh,
of
he
great
is,
work.
believe me.
Excellent, yeah.
He works for the Community Preservation Board.
Mhm.
Great job.
Yeah,
I don't know how he finds all the time.
I have no idea.
yeah, we have a lot of great volunteers on our boards in this
Yeah.
town. That's one thing, mentioning that I came here
So
from
now
another town.
you have 7 members with the 5 that are appointed by the selectmen and the other 2 members. So you have a 7-member board,
Well, it's 8 with Gary.
and there we go.
Yeah.
But he's a non-voting member.
Yeah, I think so. Although he usually
I think he
votes.
is a voter.
Oh, he
Yeah,
does,
I think
okay.
he's a
Yeah.
voting member.
Because sometimes they're non-voting.
No, I think he is.
Yeah, because we count him as the quorum.
Yeah, we do.
So-
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. 'Cause see, on the Community Preservation Board, he's a non-voter. He's like the secretary.
Yeah, Joyce
Joyce
is
is also-
serving as our clerk.
Yeah.
So she keeps all our notes, and
Thank
so
God.
if you go over to the website, the Northbridge town website, and go to the Economic Development Committee on the right-hand side, down at the bottom, you'll see minutes from the
Mm-hmm.
meeting. That's all, Joyce, for the most part, hammering out those minutes every week or every month.
Thank goodness, yeah. She does a wonderful
We
job.
have meetings once a month.
Yes.
Yeah, well, so far we've been meeting once a month, just because we have so much to do to reorganize and to
Right.
establish
Well,
our
some
tempo.
committees have to meet every 2 weeks.
Yeah, as we start getting into
We may.
more of the work, we may have to meet even every week in
So
smaller groups.
When are your meetings?
We meet on Mondays. We try to avoid the Board of Selectmen meetings, so that Michael Wilkes can attend.
So you do it before?
They're at 6 PM,
Yeah.
but we try to do them on days when
Oh,
the
on
Board
the
of Selectmen's
Mondays
not meeting.
opposite,
Right,
yeah.
so the Board of Selectmen generally meets on the 1st and 3rd, so we
Yeah.
try to meet on the 2nd. But
Right.
occasionally, the Board of Selectmen has
Shift it up a little.
shift, yeah,
Right, I
they
know
mix it up a little
that.
bit, so we tend to mix it up. We meet about half of the time via Zoom, so that that saves,
Yeah.
commute time.
We do
But
that with the CP, with the Community Preservation Board. We meet on Zoom. I kinda like it because I can stay home.
Right, right. So it is convenient since we're meeting so early. You know, you just
Yeah.
get home, just get something to eat, and you know we have the meeting. But we actually benefit from having in-person meetings where we want to look at some paperwork, we
Right.
want to look at maps or something.
Yeah.
We'll have to have in-person meetings for a lot of things. So
Right.
I think we'll continue to have it somewhat mixed up. Our next meeting in December is via Zoom. And then the January meeting, we haven't decided yet. We'll decide that at the December meeting, whether we'll do that live or.
And if anybody
Zoom.
wants to watch in, they can do that.
Yes, absolutely.
All you
The
gotta
the
do is get-
agendas are posted online as well, so you can
Yeah.
see what we'll be covering. You can dial into the Zoom. The Zoom link is listed on the agenda.
Right.
And you'll be able to click on that, and we always have a spot in our agenda for public input.
Oh,
So
good
there's
move.
always a spot in our agenda so that if you do call in and you want to get involved, you want to, give us your input and ask questions, there is a place in the agenda for that, and every time that we meet.
Yeah, it's very important. It's how we can pull people together and have the community be part of us.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
our-
absolutely.
It's our goal.
Well,
Yeah.
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 But it's also required by law that if you make yourself available to everyone.
Yeah.
If you don't have a physical meeting, if you have a Zoom meeting, then it's open to the public to get on the Zoom.
Absolutely, it's open as well. And so all of these meetings are open. And when we meet in person as well, you're certainly also welcome to attend that as well.
If you're interested in the future, you can have a meeting right here. And we broadcast it throughout the town, but we also broadcast on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So we're live on the net right now. You can watch us anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's scary.
yeah,
I have people watch this show I have cousins from Poland that watch this show.
Mm-hmm.
And I have friends in Florida that watch.
Mm-hmm.
People that left Northbridge, because you can go on the net, go at Northbridge Television and comes up. Live show. And then we do, of course, it'll be on demand after, so you can go to it after. You can actually reference it on your website.
That's excellent.
It is, so that people can see what it's all about. And
Yeah.
If we did a further one, the EDC community.
This show right now will
interested.
be on the website.
Mm-hmm.
Will be on our on-demand.
Yeah, I watched several of your shows on
check
the
them
website.
out,
Yes. Yeah, because I don't get the local cable,
Right.
so to
Well-
watch it online, like that was a very nice thing.
Yeah.
Very informative. And actually, you run a very nice show. I do have to compliment you on this show. I mean, it's
thank you.
really a great asset for the town. I think a lot of the people you have on your show are bringing us a lot of great information and keeping the community
We do two things
informed.
now. We do, we came in, we met Kelly Bowles.
Mm-hmm.
We do a show with her at the beginning of the month called Senior Info.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I get guests that was seniors, like myself, would be interested in. I got a guest coming up in December, who runs a nursing home,
Mm.
things like that. I had a guest on a couple weeks ago, we talked about Alzheimer's,
Mm-hmm.
Important stuff.
yeah.
I thought the show with the community center was
Yes.
had a lot of great information, things I didn't know was actually happening.
Yes.
So that was great information for people to be able to get in the town. I think more people need to know about the work that you're doing here. I think it's all
Well,
wonderful.
that's
How long
another-
have you been doing this show?
Oh, God, I can't, I go way back.
Oh.
We were on Church Street.
Oh, my.
So let's see, we did the last contract was 10 years, so we've been here since 2012. Prior to that, we were on 122, across from the chiropractor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And we were in that building, now got the woman that does the glass work
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes,
I know
yeah.
in the
exactly.
cabinets. And
Mhm.
prior to that, we were on Church Street, we're right in the building, trying to think what's in there now, I can't remember, but one of the smaller stores on Church Street.
Mhm.
But I've been president of the organization since we went independent. But I've been on the cable advisory committee for over 30 years.
Mhm.
We had to move because it was just too small a place.
mhm.
And I came up with the idea of moving here, we moved down to Plumbers. We had to get out of that building because at the time it was being condemned.
Mm.
Fortunately, a new owner came in and the building's been taken care of. But anyway, we moved to Plumbers down to 122. It was the only thing available. But then I came up with this idea. I belonged to the American Legion. At the time, I was running the bar and renting the hall. We didn't do enough business to pay the bills.
Oh,
So I could move the studio here, pay the Legion rent.
Mm-hmm.
We took over about 3/4 of the building and made a nice studio, a professional studio. We had Channel 6 from Boston came out here and did their road show.
mm-hmm.
I forget what they call it now. Where they do it in the summer and they go out to different towns on a Friday. Yeah, they were right here in the field. And Gene Levansky said, "This is a nice studio." So,
Yes, it
yeah,
is very nice.
I got a good crew. I got a great crew. We got 2 full-time workers and they do a great job. You met Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
And the director is Bill Taglia. They do a great job.
And I think even, this, again, is a great asset for the
Yeah.
town. To be able to have this actually does help support other businesses. I mentioned about the ecosystem. This is part of it, and this can be very helpful to the town. You interviewing businesses in the town, and they can talk about their
You know,
need for
I
people to
do a
come
radio
work.
show on WCRN
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
out of Westboro, 8:30 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Promote them. But, yeah, I do that once a week with Jeannie Hebert.
Yes.
Okay.
Fridays at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But we record it at the beginning of the week and then I send it in.
Mm.
Again, computers are fantastic. I don't
So
have to go to the
much.
station.
Yes.
Yeah.
I email it in the middle of the week and they put it together and play it on Friday.
So tell me more about that. I'm just curious how we can help businesses with that. So you already are doing
Yeah.
interviews with businesses.
Well, if you got any idea, that we can do an interview with Ford.
So one of the
It's
things.
about the Blackstone Valley, but
Right, right.
Right. So one of the things that, we're going to start again is that we used to have these spotlight meetings. And so we would have various businesses in town, after the Board of Selectmen meetings to talk about their businesses.
Right.
And so I think we can complement that a lot with, you having,
well, the
follow
other thing I
up.
can do, I hate to make it sound like I'm selling something. I can give them some great advertising rates. And, this is a 50,000 watt station that we cover from New Hampshire to Rhode Island
Mhm.
and all the way on to the Cape.
Well, that's a wonderful offer. I think that's another thing for us
And
to, we could probably even,
Certainly.
help to spread the news about
Yeah.
that and have them contact you. But that's, having communications infrastructure in the town, I think is very important. You mentioned the cable advisory board.
Yes.
Internet access is key for any business now. And so to be able to, when, nothing's more
Well,
frustrating to a
again, now,
customer than
we
not
deal
being able to
with-
get your credit card to go through.
We deal with Charter, but as a cable advisory board, we only have cable.
Right.
We have nothing to do with internet.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
So, internet though, and power and other
Right.
means of communication are essential for businesses.
Oh,
And so
absolutely.
That's something that we also will be taking a look at.
Well, now you've got Verizon coming into town as well.
Right, the FiOS, I think, will be a great asset as well. We need to have, not only that, but you need to have the expertise in town. I think a lot of people live in this town who know a lot about IT that would be able to
Yes.
help the businesses in town. That's an asset. So we have the resources available from the infrastructure side, the buildings, the communications, the power, but we also need to have the talent in the town
Right.
that can work at these businesses to accomplish these things. So I think Northbridge is well positioned for these two things, and the FiOS, I think, is just helping to add to our ability to support more businesses
Well,
in
we're
the
very
town.
big with IT right here in the station. I mean,
Yeah, I saw that coming in. You have a nice little closet there. I peeked in.
I did too.
Yeah, because that's I'm an engineer. I worked for EMC for 23 years, so
Oh, okay.
This sort of thing is kind of in my DNA now. So
yeah, well, all 3 channels are broadcast from here.
Okay.
So, we connect to the selectmen's room,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna start doing more by internet.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we're supported by Charter selling cable,
Mm-hmm.
but we know that's going down because people are going to streaming.
Yes.
Yes.
The state did have a bill, and they let it die, I guess, I don't know what happened to it, but it was gonna tax streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And the money that they got from it would go specifically to local access stations.
Hmm.
And I think they're, like you say, they are an asset to the town.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way of communicating with the town.
Mhm.
Right.
And like, we communicate over the net.
Mm-hmm.
We have our own server. So we make it possible for anyone in the world to watch us.
Yes. Yeah.
And you can watch us on your phone.
What
I've done
phones
it.
can do now.
Yeah,
So as, this is another good example of how, the environment is changing. And we need to
Yes.
be able to figure out how to adapt to those changes with our businesses so that we can continue to, have our business and be
Right.
able to have the community survive.
well, next week we're redoing the selectmen's room with new equipment, bigger TVs,
Mm.
and the selectmen will have monitors at their desk.
Oh,
So, I mean, this is all part of what we do here.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
But like I said, we're willing to work, we've had other boards, the Board of Selectmen have had meetings here when the town hall was being worked on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we could have one of your meetings here, we just got to schedule it ahead of time,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we can
I think
arrange
we can.
something like that.
especially if you got something big you want to talk about.
Yes.
we've always got something creative happen.
Yeah, yeah, so far, it's mostly been organizational, trying to, as I said, establish the mission statement so that we know what our charter is, to be able to establish our goals that we want to have both in the short and the long term. Again, these are all over on the website for people to take a look at. But, now it starts to become the real work.
You're
So,
right.
one of the first goals that we have in the short term is to do a lot more work on our webpage. So that's why I say, keep your eye on that webpage because we'll be, building it out and having a
Will you
lot
be
more
working with the
information.
selectmen on that property on Cross Street where they're taking down the school?
We haven't specifically dealt with that. That's more on the real estate side. So
Right.
we're not involved in that at
No.
this
No,
point.
but bring someone in.
That's
to
something
develop
that,
that property.
that's something that we could possibly get involved with to try to find
I know
somebody
they're
that
gonna,
can
they're
make
gonna
use of it.
advertise it again after the building is down,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and that changes the situation. But here again, you gotta deal with neighborhood. Personally, I thought the concept of the housing there was good. I thought that would have been nice, but the neighborhood didn't want it.
Well, you also, again, you mentioned this again before we started, is the whole parking situation.
Right,
And so, for a building there of any size, like for residents, you don't have enough parking. You really would ideally want to have two
well, I
parking
guess they had it
spaces
set
per
up pretty
unit.
well. They mapped it out with enough parking and everything. And they would have, they were gonna put access to Church Street through the back.
Okay, yes,
That's
It was
interesting.
I thought it was a nice design, but the
Mhm.
neighborhood was concerned about it because there was some low-income housing involved.
yeah, most of the developments have to have some low income.
Yeah, you're required to have ten
element to it.
percent.
Right.
Right.
Well, the town needs,
We do need to do, yeah.
we need that and.
We're
and the
not
town-
as bad a shape as some towns, but we are not at where we're supposed to be at.
Right, right. So that makes sense that would have been part of it. But, we would want to talk to the people in that community, find out what they want. In fact, we're planning to do several surveys. So we'll be doing a resident survey at some
Yeah.
point here. Where we'll be asking the residents questions like, what would you like to see in your local community? What businesses would you, frequent if it was in your community? And the residents of that, particular community to have a say in what goes there, could be very powerful. To be able to
Right.
say to a business that's looking for a place to go, well, come to Northbridge because this community wants you. that would be very powerful. So, yeah, we'd love to hear from, residents about what they'd like to see in their town. And we'll be doing a survey for the residents. We're planning also to do the survey for the businesses in town, so that we can get all this information and be able to, have what the community wants in the town.
A good example is iPoint.
Mhm.
I'm wondering how they found us.
Oh, that was the work of the previous, in part, from what I understand, of work of the previous EDC.
Really?
Yeah, I believe Joyce had some information on that.
I know they,
It
I
predates
remember
us,
the details.
anyway.
they
Yeah.
spoke at the breakfast this morning, the president, and he said they had done a search all over the country,
Really?
and as well as in the New England area, and they pinpointed this one,
Mhm.
and it worked out well.
Curious what,
Because Vinnie
What
has done a
made them
good
pick
job with having site-ready areas
Mhm.
in that park.
Right, right. That park is, another great asset of the town.
Oh,
That,
that it-
Osterman developing all that is really going to be, great for the town.
Yeah.
There's a lot of square footage over there.
Yeah, I mean, originally it was a gravel pit,
Mhm.
and they went down so far that they were actually down to the water table.
Mhm.
So he's done a great job of bringing everything back and filling in and building a great park.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like I say, he's got site-ready pads.
Mhm.
So you can come in and put a building up in a matter of no time, which is important, because when a company wants to move, they want to, they don't want to do it over 3 or 4 years, they want to move right away.
Right.
And we have a great asset with the White Machine Works too,
yes.
Yes.
because it's a great incubator space for startup companies.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and that's what he's working on over there, is to have those incubators. And I think that's another great asset, because they may be incubators now, but where are they going to go when they actually
Right.
reach the next
Yeah,
step?
that's
So
where
it
we
would be
need to have a
great to
place.
have a place to grow into.
Yes,
So if you have other infrastructure in the town, there's other land in the town that's being, targeted for particular development. There's been, mention about wouldn't it be nice to have a rail station in the town?
Yes.
That's also been mentioned several times, and where would it go? So there's a lot of things like this that we'll have to be taking a look at and
well, I
working
would
with the
say right where
town.
it used to be.
Near China Pacific? You're talking
Well, that was one.
coming in?
Yeah,
That was one, but right down here in Rockdale, at the Rockdale Mill,
oh yes, that was the other one. Yes,
there was a railroad station there. I
Right.
took the train from there to Woonsocket.
Did you?
Yeah.
I was just a little tight.
yeah. Well, another problem that we have to solve as a town, and it kind of goes outside our committee, but we have an interest in it because it does affect the
Well,
businesses
there was a
in town.
company that was looking at bringing passenger rail in the valley,
Right.
and they were headquartered down in Woonsocket. And I went down to look for them, I couldn't find them.
Mhm.
I don't know if they went out of business. And there was a company in the White Machine Works that was looking at railway.
Hmm.
I don't know if they're still there.
But
Part of the problem is, many years ago, there were two sets of tracks. You had a north set and a south set,
Mhm.
when the train was really heavy duty. They took one of them out. So now you got to deal with, they use it for a lot of freight, there's a lot of freight going through.
Mhm.
Well, you have to do with their schedule too.
Right.
And I was also told that the railroads don't want to do passenger service because it's not profitable.
It's not lucrative enough, yeah?
Yeah, so you end up to have to done by the state.
Mhm.
And will the MBTA come out here and do that?
Well, that's something that will be looked into, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But I think that would make a world of difference for us.
right. Yeah, and I think another thing that is kind of another elephant in the room is the flooding that happens in Rockdale every few years.
Yeah.
That's another thing that needs to be solved. So you mentioned put a
It's not
train
that-
station over there, it would be underwater every
No,
couple of
that's
years.
actually above the flood area.
On that side,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
on
actually
that
go-
side,
you
it's,
go uphill
you're
when you-
going uphill enough, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's another
The
problem.
flood situation, since Jim Knott took over the dam,
Hmm.
was not a problem
Mhm.
until 2005, and that wasn't his fault. What happened was Worcester has married their system into their drainage.
Right, exactly, yes.
And so we had a huge storm,
Hmm.
and they had more water than they could handle, so they opened up some
Opened it.
gates.
Yeah.
Ah,
And what we had was a tsunami wave that came through.
Mm-hmm.
It came up on Saturday, by early Sunday morning, it was gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the damage was already
Yeah.
done. So
And
so
then
that's
they-
something.
Then they denied doing anything wrong.
Yes, yes. So those are the sorts of things that we need to pay
Right.
attention to.
Right.
You know, that, you know, if you wanted to establish a business in Rockdale and you see that on the history, you know,
Right.
that's not good for our town. And so things like that, I think we need to address as well, when we're relocating businesses to the town, to make sure that we, you know, have areas and infrastructure where the businesses can come, build their businesses,
Oh,
and
yeah.
not worry about things like floods or traffic logistic problems or anything else.
I mean, we were pretty empty here in Rockdale for a while, but now we're starting to get some businesses coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it is good.
Yeah.
And but here again, parking is a big factor.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Parking, I think, is probably one of the things as I looked across the state. It seems to be that we're not uncommon in that. Most
No.
towns seem to have.
Well, these are New England towns, they weren't built for cars.
Yeah.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
And so.
Like Boston isn't built for cars.
Right, so that'll be one thing that if we can fix it, would be an attraction for businesses to come to
Right.
Northbridge then. So any other issues like that we can come up with in talking to the local businesses will be very helpful. Because, you know, those will be the key things that will attract new businesses to the town as well, not just help the local businesses, but help us to bring those new businesses in.
yeah, we
Yeah.
really do want to know what the businesses think, what the people in the town think. We want to pull it together.
Right. I know the selectmen are very pro-business,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and they work with them on tax
The tax incentive, the
tax
TIFs,
incentives,
Yep.
and, yeah, because they bring
or
employment.
tax incremental funding, yes. Yeah, that's, there's a link on the website again, where you can go and read about the TIFs. But yeah, that's one tool that we have available in the town to
Yes.
help new businesses. And there's also, again, Jeannie over at the Chamber of Commerce. There's a lot of funding that she is able to secure.
Yes.
That has also helped many of our businesses in Northbridge. And so, you know, that's,
Unfortunately,
there is,
it's drying up now because COVID, we had money everywhere.
yeah.
Now it's starting to dry up because COVID's all over, and they were paying out more than they had.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but at least there's still some
But
hope,
there's some out there, yeah.
Yeah, and
she's
there's help
she's
available.
excellent at finding it.
right, and building the justification to be able to help you get that.
Yes.
And so, so that's the sort of thing that we want to be able to feel out. We want to be able to also have our own research to be able to find additional funding and help Jeannie with that,
Right.
but mainly help the businesses of Northbridge be able to find that sort of funding.
Yes. But, you know, like the Rockdale Mill was recently, went up for auction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who bought it. But I know why, because Thomas Cause, who was an owner, his father's long gone, he was the sole owner of it, and he's in his 70s, I'm imagining, he had retired, he sold polyfoam,
Mm-hmm.
so he didn't need the mill,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know what's gonna happen there now. But that's another great asset. Years ago, I was on a planning board, we opened up, we made it allowable for commercial and industrial,
Mm-hmm.
and we got the curtain factory down
Mhm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
We could get more of those in there.
Right, and the
I
flooring.
mean, if you've been to the Manchog Mill does phenomenal.
Right, exactly, yes.
And they're out in the middle of nowhere,
They are.
Mm-hmm.
but they draw them in.
Right. And Southbridge has some very large mills that they've also have a lot of
Well,
office space.
the
and-
old optic mill,
Right, exactly. That's another great transformation of a
yeah.
mill.
They
So
did that with a
retail,
federal grant.
yeah, exactly. Retail, industrial, commercial, all of these
Yeah.
things are possibles for the mills. And the mills are a great asset here in
They actually
Northbridge.
turned that mill, the optic mill, into a hotel and conference center.
Yes. Yeah, that's another good possibility. We were talking earlier about the problem of not having,
No hotel space.
right, and so we have no overnight accommodations for
Right.
these businesses. So you
But
have these businesses that are bringing in
yeah.
business travelers, and they have to travel 40 minutes away to find a hotel room.
I heard that complaint back when, where Cormac was a fan manufacturer.
Mhm.
Forget the name of it. But he said he would have buyers come in, and they'd have to stay in Milford,
Yes,
and then come by back roads.
yes, or go up 146 to Worcester, or Auburn.
Yeah.
So, that's not going to help us much. So if we could get some rooms in the town that are, not, low end, but
Yeah.
some nice higher end rooms for business travelers, for your relatives to come to town, for, people to come for
What companies
weddings.
like is the conference center though, where
Yes.
you stay right in the same building as you have your conference.
That would even be better, yes.
Yeah.
And so to have meeting space. So for the small businesses in town, if you want to have a meeting, say you have an insurance company, can you offer, presentations for people? Do you have that sort of space? It would be nicer to be able to rent that sort of space.
Right.
It would be nice if it were in Northbridge.
Yes.
And so if we can, this is the kind of ecosystem that I was talking about that we need in town, where different businesses have complementary services that help each other, and together, the community is better for it.
Yeah, we've got some great assets for tourism. Just
Definitely.
gotta get them in here.
Right, so we mentioned the national park, that's
Yeah.
an
Sign on.
asset, so, again, before we started, we were talking about how do we package that, how do we market that, how do we offer something, and so if you have a good restaurants, you have a place for people to stay, you have, sporting goods, available, those sorts of businesses
Right.
around the park would be very, very useful for the town. So we can think about ways in which we build a package around that. And then, that sign on the highway that says
think
attractions.
that's a great idea.
That, you got your hotel sign, you got your gas sign, you got your restaurant sign, you have your attraction sign. That puts Northbridge on that map for the people who want that asset.
We're getting close to the end here. You work with some of the assets we have, Open Skies.
Mhm.
It's got a great facility there.
They do. They really do.
With their theater and all.
Some
Right, yes.
Some collaborative work
Yes,
Yeah.
can be happening.
yes,
I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
But,
We're
all
just in
kinds of
there to
things
see
are
the
possible.
Whiten film.
yes.
I don't know if you saw
I
that.
have
That's a
not.
one-
I have wanted to see it. I have
It's
not.
Yeah,
online.
that's wonderful, yes.
Oh, is it online? Okay.
Yeah, that's
We're gonna be
wonderful.
We're gonna be showing it here. They asked me to hold off, well, Carol Bauer asked me to hold off until Historical Society got to see it.
Yeah, I think everybody needs to see that film, not
It'll
just
be
not just
on
in
here.
Northbridge.
It'll be on here, I don't know what day, but it'll be on, coming up, you can check the schedule.
Yeah,
That could also be part of pulling people in. I mean, that's a fascinating
Oh, absolutely, it's a
story.
great movie.
yes.
Yeah, and the town
Very
is
short, 30
fascinating,
minutes.
really.
Mm-hmm.
We've got so much here.
Yeah, it really talks a lot about what we have in
Right,
history
well,
in the town and
We're getting
assets.
this, now we gotta go.
We gotta
Okay.
go.
So thank you for coming, I have to have you back.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
I'd be glad to come back and,
Appreciate your time.
And happy Thanksgiving to everyone, I won't be on next week, because we're gonna be home having Thanksgiving dinner.
Having some turkey.
Next
And all
week.
the fixins.
well,
Yeah.
great, yeah. Well, thank you very much for having us, and glad
you.
to, you celebrating the new Berkey Park.
Yeah.
And another great asset in the town.
There you go. It's different.
Yes, absolutely.
It's unique. You gotta get down and see it. It really is nice. They did a great job.
Mm-hmm,
Thank you.
absolutely.